Welcome to the Solarpreneur Podcast, where we teach you to take your solar business to the next level. My name is Taylor Armstrong, and I went from $50 in my bank account and struggling for groceries to closing 150 deals in a year and cracking the code on why sales reps fail. I teach you how to avoid the mistakes I made and bring in the top solar dogs of the industry to let you in on the secrets of generating more leads, following up like a pro, and closing more deals. What is a solarpreneur, you might ask? A solarpreneur is a new breed of solar pro that is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve mastery, and you are about to become one.
All right, what's up, solarpreneurs? We're here with the one, the only Mr. Brent. Or sorry, I get these guys mixed up.
It's good. You can call me Brent.
Brent's his brother, Bennett Maxwell, in the house here. And so this is actually his second time coming on the podcast. So we haven't had too many people coming on for a second time. So thanks for coming back on.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we were just talking before this, the first time I had to beg you to come on the show, and this time you hit me up. So what's up with that, man?
Starting to build the personal brand. Everybody's talking about it. Get out there, have people know who you are. And I'm like, man, I post a few times a year for my kids' birthdays. So I'm switching that up. Joined some masterminds, and they are hitting me heavy on it. So
well, I can tell. That's awesome. And I've been seeing you post a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And so if you haven't heard Bennett's first podcast, we'll link to that in the show notes, but he dropped some fire in that one. Go check it out. Talked about just setting up systems and processes in your solar business, working with VAs, virtual assistants, and a whole lot of other stuff that you'll want to check out. So definitely go check that out first if you haven't. But today we're going to be focusing on some of that, but a lot of the focus today will be on just investments, how you can leverage your money in solar to do some pretty incredible stuff. Because Bennett, now he's actually not in solar, which seems crazy, but we're gonna hear all about why you're not in solar anymore. So do you want to kind of give, I don't know, maybe let's start with that. Do you want to kind of tell everyone your solar journey and just what you're up to since we did the first podcast?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So started solar in the summer of 19. Went up to Sacramento, and this is the first company that said you could do a solar summer, because before I was doing summer sales, but I was taught to stay away from solar because long lead times, you don't get paid, it has to be year round. So I went and gave it a go, and it went really well. And in the first 2 months, I'm like, wow, I made way more money than I ever have in a product that I believe in half the time. So pretty cool, pretty easy. I'm like, wow, this is great. So and then I teamed up with Brent.
Yeah.
Brent, my brother, Attaway, different last names, but brother from the same mother. Anyways, we teamed up. We started doing the online stuff, and that's it went really well. So we hired some VAs. Paid some marketing companies to give us leads. They would call, set the appointments, verify the appointments. So I showed up to 18. I did an 18 trial run. And I showed up to 16, all 18, 0 no-shows. 16 of them closed the first sit, and the 17th closed the second sit, and the 18th. But I'm like, wow, this is great. Yeah. Online lead setting, and then showing up. So then that's when I was teaming up with Brent, we decided to move to San Diego. We started recruiting people in January of 2020.
Okay.
And still doing mainly door knocking, because scaling that model was hard. I didn't figure it out. You do it for a few people, but not as we really scale. So Seth Loveland, he came out in January. He's the first guy. Yeah. And my little brother Bailey came out and started kind of building some momentum. COVID hit, but we were kind of already online. So anyways, we kind of went through there, and then that's when we started working together. Yeah. Fast forward a year after I started, January of 2021, I was seeing another company called Crumble Cookies. They were killing it, and I had the opportunity to buy a similar company out of Tempe, and I thought, what the hell? Let's do it. It's Crumble's killing it. So let's see if I can, ride their coattails a little bit. So I bought that company. I was in San Diego, running it from San Diego in the Tempe area. So I had to I'm like, if I could figure this out, then I have a scalable, provable model. A dummy with no food experience can figure it out, then I think anybody can figure it out. So I started kind of working on the model, and then changed a ton of stuff, kind of redid everything, but we started franchising in December. Nice. So 4.5 months ago, we sold 57 franchises, so it's going well. But solar was a great vehicle to get the money to then invest in other things. Really trying to work more on the passive income side.
Yeah. No, and it's been cool. I give him a hard time because I was running your team and everything, and then
You were running the whole show.
yeah, and then I get a call. I'm in Lake Powell, and then I get a call. I get back and like, oh, by the way, we sold the company.
So I didn't mention that. So we sold it in June of 2021. So we ran it just for 18 months ish, and then we exited that. Me and my brother, we were the partners in it, and then that's when I'd already owned Dirty Dough. I was running them both. You were really running the solar for me, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I was focusing a lot of my time on this the cookie company. So and then after June, that's kind of when I started jumping more, and then until I fully it's like, all right, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, the cookies were always involved because if you heard the first podcast we did, that was one of the processes you guys set up is you'd send them cookies and treats and stuff. So this guy is always passionate about his cookies, right? Cookie Monster.
Those of you guys watching the video, my body embodies our cookies.
But no, they're no joke. They're good cookies, and that got us, I think, probably a lot of referrals, sending cookies, stuff like that.
Very unique cookies. So
yeah, they're delicious.
We do these 3-layer triple stack cookies. So you look, it's like a brownie on the outside, and you bust it open, and there's a chocolate chip in the center, and in the very center there's caramel oozing out. So don't exist anywhere else right now.
Yeah, so probably getting hungry just hearing this podcast. I'll have to set up a discount code for cookies or something. But no, so yeah, and I learned a ton from you guys. So always appreciate, what you and Brent did, helping us kind of start everything, even though I wish it could have been a lot longer, but it is what it is. No, it's cool to see how you've been able to just go into other businesses and, like you said, leverage all the money you did make, because I know you killed it in solar and use that as a vehicle into other opportunities. So I think that's a question that some people, I think I've seen it on social media too, but like some people I've seen, how do you even sell a dealer? I didn't know you could sell your solar dealer.
Kind of a unique situation. I also didn't think that we were going to ever sell. I thought I was just going to be in it for the money, right? Make some good money. Yeah. And then when I exit, kind of just let it dissolve. Yeah. But there was a public company that was buying up some companies and doing looking for revenue really to boost our stock. So I think they'd done $50 million the previous year, and this was the first about 3-4 months. We had done about $5 million was in our pipeline because they also own an installer. So they're counting the total volume of the deal. So not just like what goes through your bank account as a solar dealer, but also what the installers get paid. Because again, it's like, well, if we buy you guys, then you guys install through our installer, then now the revenue's doubled anyways. So based off of the total revenue, it was about $5 million that we've done kind of year to date, and they did $50 million. So like, oh, this is a 10% increase, and then they were buying a few other companies at the same time. So yeah, kind of a unique experience. I didn't think that was what was going to happen. When the guy contacted me, it was Jason Newby. Yeah, kind of just ignored him. He's like, I want to buy your company. I'm like, get out of here, Jason. I'll talk to my brother. Didn't talk to my brother. Calls me again, dude. I'm like, I want to buy your company. I'll talk to my brother. Didn't talk to my brother again. And then it was you and Brent went to some solar thing, and then Jason met him, talks to Brent, and then Brent comes back to me and he goes, we need to talk to Jason. Yeah. All right, let's talk to Jason. So Jason was the one that orchestrated it all. He had Future Home Power. He had high sales, very, very new. I mean, a month or two in, maybe 40 sales reps, where we had less sales reps. We were doing about 30 deals a month, 20, 30 deals between our sales teams, our online, and our sub-dealer model. Yeah. But we had built out the back-end process in the organization a little more. So he kind of merged us in and then sold it to Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation. Anyways, not everything panned out the way that we hoped it would. Yeah, there's definitely some but it was a good experience. We got some cash, we got some stock. We're supposed to some future stock. We'll see how that coming. Yeah. If anybody's in the door-to-door world, caution on stock.
No, don't put all your marbles on stocks.
Which I knew going in. That's what I based my decision based on the cash, and the stock would be a bonus.
Yeah, it's kind of cherry on top. So I guess really it's kind of my fault that you guys sold because I introduced Brent.
It was your fault. So you brought it on yourself.
You guys owe a lot to me. You're welcome. But no, that's where we're at now. And so I think today we kind of want to focus on just what you're doing now, and specifically for people in solar. Yeah. I know a lot of them haven't gotten started in maybe real estate. You have a ton of different investments you're doing, and that's definitely something you started when we were working together is the whole Finance Friday, and kind of a lot of guys that were working with us now have real estate. I know my brother does.
We bought a property in the same, we're neighbors. Yeah. One of my investment, I think they're moving in.
Yeah, so I know. So you introduced a lot of people to this whole world of real estate and investments.
Yeah, I'm very, very passionate about that. Like that's how I was when I was in pest control recruiting. And so I got really lucky. I worked for Altera right before they became active. And I sold for them for 2 months. They recruited me halfway through the summer. In those 2 months, I think I did like 170 or 100, something right around there.
Yeah.
And I was taking a nap every day in my car. I was like, this is sweet.
That's crazy.
But I studied like hell just to know the sales process. And I was a very big proponent of why I wanted to do sales. Because initially I was in Baltimore doing security installs. I'm like, guys, let's go do sales. We live in freaking Utah. Everybody does summer sales.
Yeah.
My buddies are like, no. Let's go do installs. That's where the secure money is. That's the sure money.
Yeah.
So we all moved out to freaking Baltimore. We're installing these ghetto security systems for freaking sales reps that were kind of scummy.
Yeah.
And so I switched halfway through, knowing that I'm going from, I get paid when I do an install to I could get paid nothing if I go do sales.
Yeah.
But I already had it ingrained in me, the work to learn, not to earn.
Yeah.
And I thought, if nothing else happens, I'm going to learn sales skills and I'm going to learn communication skills.
Yeah.
And then I've always viewed it as, what is that person doing that I can't learn? Not that I'm not doing, but what can I not? And then so I'm just always listening to podcasts, videos, sales pitches, and read it all. So that's how I got into it. So I think I made $24,000. That's what I made my first summer in the 2 months. Yeah. And I got married. I met my wife out in that summer. Got married 6 months later. So I paid for the wedding, the ring, all that crap. But I had a little bit of money left over. Now I couldn't qualify for a loan. Yeah. And this is what I really want everybody to get. Like, you can get into real estate with almost no money, with no freaking qualifications. You just need to hustle a little bit. So I'm going to tell you guys what I did to get my first property and how that's worked out. Because I really want everybody to get in that same real estate game. Chandler Smith from Aptiv, big into real estate. I think he owns like 130 or 60 doors. I just was watching some of his YouTube stuff. Yeah. He's the one who was telling me, and Garrett Myers, those are my managers and regional managers at Pest Control. So even only making $24,000, within a year I'd bought my first property, my first investment property, kind of investment property. So if you're doing an owner-occupied loan and it's your first home, you can do an FHA 3.5% down, or even a conventional 3.5% down. Now you have to pay property mortgage fees, PMI. Yeah. Property mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
So because you're not putting that much down, but it's like, okay, so this particular property, this was in 2016, it was like $220,000. So you'd have to pay, the 3.5% down and then closing cost. What we did is we said, well, our offer was, no, you pay the closing cost. And they came back and they said no. So I said, okay, I think we negotiated them down to $210. Okay. And then we said, well, okay, never mind. We'll pay you $220. Even though they already agreed to $210. So here's an extra $10,000, but give that back to me in closing costs. So it's basically me financing the extra $10,000. Okay. So now my 3.5% on the $220,000 was like $9,000. Now I couldn't qualify for a loan though, right? I'd only made $24,000 and I was on a commission. I didn't have taxes. I didn't have the insurance. So I linked up with somebody. I was like, okay, well, who can I do this with? Because this is a great investment. Like, okay, I could get in this property for $9,000, and I'm gonna pay for half of it, $4,500. So for $4,500, I'm securing a $220,000 asset. I just need to find the other partner, right? And it's like, well, that's easy. So I found a partner, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna live in this, right? So that's the big advantage. So who's not going to do that? Everybody knows somebody that has $4,500 that will partner and sign the loan that has a good W-2 job. Yeah. If you don't, contact me because I will partner with every deal that you guys do, and I will manage the properties. There's my plug. Don't buy cookies from me. Partner with me on real estate. I'll manage it all for you. Nice. Anyway, so that's what I did. I brought in my brother, so he qualified for the loan. Okay. He put in $4,500. I put in $4,500. Property went from $220. We sold it last year. We sold it for like $380 or $400, somewhere around there. Wow. So we had $500 cash flow every single month for the last 5-6 years. Wow. And then we sold it. Had rolled in. They're also paying down your principal, right? Yeah. So it was a $220,000 property, and let's say our loan was for $210,000. Well, they paid down an extra $10,000 or $20,000. The renters did because I lived there for a little bit and rented it out. Yeah. So we profited like $180,000-$200,000 on that. Flipped it, threw it into it's called a 1031 exchange. So there's no taxes. Goes into an escrow because you have to have an attorney to do this for you. Yeah. But you sell the property, you can't touch the money. It has to go straight to this other account, and this other account is then going to buy your other property within a certain time period. So we found another property in BYU. Right next to BYU in Provo. Nice. It was a duplex, 12 bedrooms.
12 bedrooms? Jeez.
12 bedrooms. So my real estate agent shot it over to me, Dwayne Richards, super stud. Yeah, he's cool. You actually introduced me to him. Yeah. You brought him out.
Man, I'm introducing you to everybody, man.
Dwayne's the man. So Dwayne's like, you need to buy this property. I was like, but prices are so high. This is 2021 June. Like prices are way too high.
Yeah.
And this duplex they were asking 825. I'm like, that's freaking expensive. He's like, but look at the cash flow and the appreciation on this. So we rent out the 12 rooms to 13 tenants. So there's two sisters. They share a room. They're each paying like $450 to $500 plus utilities. So we're collecting about $6,500 a month. We pay about $500 of that goes to utilities and maintenance.
Yeah.
And then $3,000 is our mortgage. That leaves us about $3,000 cash flow. And I partnered again with my brother on this. We own it in an LLC.
Yeah.
So there's no liability if one of these girls slips on the ice or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of another section. But yeah, I made $24,000 in 2 months. And then fast forward to 2022, I now have over $200,000 of equity into this property, and it's cash flowing me $3,000. That's $3,600 a year. That's not the best money in the world, but it's not terrible. I don't do anything for it. And then I hired a virtual assistant, Sky. She's freaking awesome. She manages all of my tenants. So I just went online. Dwayne actually connected me. He's like, this is attorney you should use. You don't even have to use them. Use his lease agreement, and then if you have problems, he'll represent you. So I'm like, sweet. So we just use his lease agreement. Sky manages it all for me. And since then, I've been buying up some other properties. I'm closing on number 6 and 7 this month. So yeah, I mean, you think that you have to have $100,000 to invest in real estate or $50,000, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Go find a little property, make it owner occupied. That means you have to live in it or have the intent to live in it.
Yeah.
And then have them pay closing costs for you.
Wow, that's good. And in solar, I mean, hopefully people have extra money in solar, right?
But even if you have the money and you have $100,000, it's like, we'll still do this strategy and then buy another one too. You can buy 2 now. You can put $9,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 on owner occupied and keep the rest of your capital and then go do an investment property with it. Because investment properties, you do have to have 20% down.
Yeah.
Typically 25% if you want a little bit of a better rate.
Right.
But it kind of just depends on the market. Where you're at. Here in Utah, the appreciation's going up. I bought a property last April, and it's April now.
Yeah.
I bought it for $390,000.
Wow.
I looked on Zillow the other day. It's worth $605.
Right.
It's gone up over $200,000 in a year, and everybody told me, don't buy. Prices are inflated.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever that, I don't know what that means. People told me that when I bought freaking a house in 2017.
Yeah.
Paying too much for the house. But my advice to that is just get in the market. Don't time the market. It's not like an opinion. It's a fact. You can't time the market. Don't wait for it to crash.
Yeah.
Just get in the market.
Yeah.
Just buy.
I like that, and because so many people are into like crypto, like Jason Newby's all crypto, but it's like with all these wars and things like that, and just crazy stuff going on. I think once you say homes, it's always going to be basically secure, right? I mean, it's a physical thing.
Let's say you buy a home and it's $400,000, and the market dips 25%.
Yeah.
And now your home's only worth $300,000. Yeah. But as long as you can keep making the payments, it will go back up.
Right.
So even if you owe $370,000 and it's only worth $300,000, you're like, crap, I'm like negative $70,000. Just hold on to it for 5 years and it'll go back up.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, what happens? Like in 2008, all these people owned homes, and then they all foreclosed on their home. They lost their home. Guess what? It makes them renters.
Yeah.
So the renter market goes up.
That's true. Huh?
So if the market crashes, there's more rent that need places to live. So it's very unlikely that the market will crash, at least in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but the market's going to crash, and then you can't find a renter to cover your mortgage.
Yeah.
That's going to be possible, but it's not super likely. The market crashes and there's more renters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Brings up demand.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan, and I told you we just got our first investment down in St. George, Utah. I don't know, maybe there's probably better stuff out there, but I did it with like
money.
Yeah,
an Airbnb, right?
Yeah, Airbnb, and there's like 6 people in on it, so not as profitable. But I mean, I think that's what you did. Yep.
It's just getting in the market. That's it.
Yeah.
If you own 10% of investment or 1% of, at least you're in it.
Yeah.
And then you gain confidence, and then you're like, okay, now I can do another one.
Yeah.
And now I can do another one. Like, this isn't that hard.
Yeah. Because for me, I was like, I don't know, I've always been like skeptical and cautious and like, I have to have a bunch of money. Let's just wait. But I like that. Just starting somewhere, just starting on a small deal, and then you can see, okay, this is actually working out. Let's use it for bigger deals and keep it rolling.
It's so easy to make more money.
Yeah.
So it's like just freaking. If you have $100,000 sitting in your account, you're not that motivated to knock.
Yeah.
If you have $250,000, you're not that motivated to knock. You're like, I'm going to go knock, but not that. You spend that money and you don't have money in your account.
Yeah.
not wasting it, but investing it in things that you can't, it's not stocks that you can sell and take. It's real estate or it's a franchise, right? It's business.
Yeah.
Then now you need to go knock some more. And you do make more money. When
Sure.
you have more money in your bank account, you make less money. When you have less money, even though your net worth is going up, you're more inclined to work.
Yeah. No, that's true, 100%.
You want to be cash poor.
Yeah.
You don't want to be sitting on cash.
Yeah.
Other than, a 3 to 6 month reserve, which should also be in a separate account, not your bank account. So
Right.
a different account.
Yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, so many guys in door-to-door and solar are broke from stupid stuff, right? From not putting in investments. And I remember, maybe it was you that's telling me this, but some I don't know, maybe it's door-to-door managers, things like that would try to get their guys to spend their money on stupid stuff, go out and buy expensive cars. And
they do that because then it's like, well, how do you recruit? Well, you have to show up in a nice car.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's one way of doing it, but
yeah.
The way that I recruited was based off of education.
Yeah.
What are you going into school for? What do you want your career path? Whether that's I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a marketer or whatever. It's like, okay, so you're telling me you need communication skills?
Yeah.
It's not sales skills, it's communication skills.
Yeah.
So you needed the ability to catch somebody's attention rapidly, very quick, get them to listen to you, and then persuade them to what you're doing. You need to do that in your business, right?
Yeah.
When your future career, okay, cool. Well, I got an opportunity to teach you. And then you focus on what they're going to learn and the educational piece.
Yeah.
And that's why I did the Finance Fridays. The second pest control company I worked for was Sage Pest Control. And the owner's name was Brandon Grover and Josh Schiffman. And they had their version of the Finance Friday. I think it was Wednesdays, but they did a pre-recorded broadcast and pre-recorded video. They would send that out and you just play it in your meetings. And then it was like, this Wednesday we're going over stocks, and then life insurance, and then real estate, and then all these, businesses. And so I'm like, I love that. And I recruited people off of that. So that's why we built that.
Yeah, that was huge. But I was just going to say too, it's that's way more valuable than telling your guys to go buy cars. Cause I know guys will just get their reps to spend money on stupid stuff just cause we're going to keep them broke. We're going to keep them broke. So they'll go work more. Right?
It's then you can keep them broke by buying real estate. It's do you want to work for somebody that driving a freaking Lamborghini or that owns, a handful of properties or one property, right?
Yeah.
It's there's more money comes and it goes. So before it goes, secure something that'll make you money.
Yeah.
And going back to why Cookie Company, I just listened to a podcast. I need to go freaking remember which one it was, but it was, you get wealthy in two ways: buying businesses and real estate. I'm I've been buying real estate. Here's an opportunity to buy a business, and then in the back, oh well, you don't know what you're doing. You've never been in food. It's out of you can't even pop in and do it. And then I'm I'm just gonna get in the market, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's a business, and then kind of playing the whole scenario. Okay, well, what if I buy this company and it goes under?
Yeah.
I'll just go knock some more freaking doors. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I have a skill that I could go in any state and go sell pest control or satellite or alarms or solar, and I could make 6 figures in a few months.
Yeah.
So also knowing that confidence, I just throw the money here, and I'll use some money over here, and then that 50 grand, that business didn't do good.
Yeah.
I still haven't made any money off of it. The business is still running.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's I got rid of the money, I worked harder, got more money, and then invest in something else.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of throwing your money out there. But real estate is really what everybody should be getting into, in my opinion, first. Get a property and then businesses. And I didn't really know much about the franchise model, but franchise, you're a business owner with a set of really good processes and instructions.
Yeah.
So that's, again, what I wanted to build. When I was trying to buy Crumble, they're yeah, you can buy one, but not in Utah. We're sold out.
Oh.
I was cool. Well, where can I buy one? And they're well, where do you want to move to? I was I don't want to move anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go do cookies for my career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm doing now, but I didn't think I wanted to do cookies for my career at that time. I was I just want to put some money in, hire somebody good, and have them run it. And that wasn't in their cards at that time, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So what I focus on is making it dummy proof.
Yeah.
So we pre-manufacture everything at a centralized location. So we're ordering all of our flour and our sugar directly from manufacturers rather than third-party distributors. So we get it at steep discounts.
Yeah.
And then we use machines to eliminate labor. So rather than doing everything by hand and weighing it by hand, making the little balls by hand, we have a machine that does it all. So our labor is very low. And then we're shipping these pre-portioned cookie pucks that are already 3 layers to the stores. And all you're doing, they're still being baked fresh every hour. So there's no difference in the freshness. But now you have half the labor You have half the startup costs. Your ongoing costs are less. You don't have to deal with raw ingredients. You don't have to have the space to store everything.
Yeah.
So your lease space can be smaller, can be less expensive. That's the model that I built. One, to lower that barrier of entry so a solar guy could get into it, right? So or somebody that didn't think that they can own a business now can, because it's very affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, relatively speaking, right? Franchises are typically several $100,000 to $1 million, a few $1 million sometimes.
Yeah.
And we're in the range of around 200,000. I mean, it could be more, it could be less.
Yeah.
But then we're on the SBA approved list. So you can either get a loan, you can do equipment financing. And there's just different ways that you don't have to have that much cash to get into a business.
Yeah.
And then we're here at SolarCon right now and partnered with Pi Syndicate.
Yeah.
Jerry Fusel and Austin Underwood, their family owns 100-something franchises. Like tons of Five Guys, all the Five Guys in Utah, a lot of them in Texas, Zaxby's.
Yeah.
They know how to do this. So they said, you give us your money and we'll make it a passive investment for you. It's a white glove service.
Yeah.
So that's another way that they can get it. And what they're doing is really unique. They see this model, they know how profitable it is. They know how to run restaurants. So they're offering 100% ROI. So they're the kind of minimum package. You do $27,500. And they open up a store for you. You own 10% of that store, but they guarantee all your money back year one, which is crazy. It's like, who's doing that? Who's that confident in what they're doing?
Yeah.
So super cool. I'm glad to be working with those guys and some other all-stars in the industry and the food world.
No, it's cool. Yeah, pretty crazy investment and great. So we'll link to that for those that are interested and give a more plug at the end of the show. But let me ask you, Bennett, were you so transition out of the solar industry? Like, were you nervous getting out of solar, going all in on this cookie thing? Because
for sure.
I mean, my thoughts are like, you already got Crumble, especially in Utah, you got 1 million cookie shops.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts? Like, how did you feel making this whole transition?
I always had kind of the end in mind of, if I was looking at Utah, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But looking outside of Utah, it's like there's only Crumble though. It's like, when's the last time you've seen a McDonald's that you don't see in California, a Jack in the Box or a Wendy's or a Burger King within eyesight?
That's true, yeah.
Or the Targets are always right across the street from the Walmarts.
Yeah.
The Jamba Juices are always in the same freaking strip mall as a Starbucks.
Yeah.
So I looked at it on the outside. I'm like, okay, well, Crumble's killing it in all these other states, and Utah's kind of saturated. But again, we built a model that's profitable with low sales.
Yeah.
We looked at like a Mrs. Fields and Insomnia Cookies. Insomnia Cookies have been around for 20-something years. Mrs. Fields, 40 years. Wow. They've weathered the recessions.
True.
They don't rely on a growth economy necessarily.
Yeah.
They're taking hits in the growth economy. They're shutting down, but there's a lot still open, and that's because they do centralized production.
Yeah.
And they're shipping it out. And then you look at Crumble, and they do a lot of things really well, and their marketing and their weekly rotating flavors.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, can we take the weekly rotating flavors, the novelty item, giant cookie, served warm, delivered to your door, but take in this robust business model of a Mrs. Fields, of a Insomnia Cookies, and combine them so we can get the higher sales of Crumble while keeping the lower costs and the lower risk of these other business models. So that's what we've been aiming to build.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a decent job.
Yeah.
We're opening up 57 stores in our first 4 months is what we've sold and funded so far.
Yeah.
4 stores opening next month, and then basically 4 every month after that. So about 1 a week is what we're doing.
Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, it's pretty impressive to see the growth, and seems like everything you touch just goes to gold, man. So congrats on the success with it. But yeah, I mean, so we've talked about 2 different things here. Real estate, you got the cookie shop. So if I'm a solar rep or business, I want to start investing. So are you telling me, do you think I should invest in a cookie store before I do some real estate? Do you think guys should go real estate first?
I would do real estate first if you're going to actively manage it.
Okay.
If you're looking for just something to throw your money, I would do a franchise, but I would do it through the Pi Syndicate, get the guarantee. So that's kind of
okay.
I think you want to do both.
Yeah.
For sure. But if you don't have the time to go find a deal with real estate, you don't want to find a renter, you don't want to move, because it does take work. If you want the I have money, I want to get in the market today, then let's get you with Pi Syndicate.
Yeah.
If it's I have a little bit more time, I want to get into real estate, cool. And I'm happy to help. If you can't qualify for yourself, then let's partner on the deal. Go 50-50.
Yeah.
51-49. You don't ever go 50-50.
Yeah.
That's the one wrong answer, and then I have obviously a system that manages it all. It's very, very cheap. It's not an 8% management fee or 10%.
Yeah.
I'm paying somebody out of the Philippines that manages over 20 tenants for me.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing I was gonna bring up because I've heard some people, oh, real estate takes so much work.
Yeah.
It's not really passive. We have to do so much managing it. But yeah, you've taken the whole. Again, if you
Somebody
haven't,
does.
yeah,
Somebody has to manage it, so you just hire somebody to do it, is my point,
yeah,
right?
well,
It does take time, but it doesn't
yeah.
have to take your time.
And so yeah, I mean, this guy's a whiz with the virtual assistant. So again, go listen to the first podcast if you haven't already. But he's taken a lot of the same stuff that our assistants were doing and switched to solar, the solar dealer you had, and now you're just using them for other things and leveraging that. So I don't know, how do you? I guess for guys that are maybe have properties and stuff like that, do you have any tips on how to get maybe a virtual assistant or someone like running this stuff for you, or ways you've used it in real estate or
There's a
other stuff?
lot of different companies that can connect you with virtual assistants. So I've gone with, after we hired our first few, they're hiring out on their network.
Yeah.
So I don't go through any different companies. I know there's Sphere Marketing, I think.
Yeah.
The owner's name's Finn. He's got a good company. There's some other companies that are popping up doing that.
Yeah.
But and you can also shoot me a message, Instagram or something. I can refer you to somebody that'll, I'm not gonna make any money off of it, but I'm happy to refer, because man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Now most people are hesitant with the virtual assistant because they don't know how to, like, oh well, do you trust them? It's like, well, you protect yourself, but like, you use password management systems and you use credit cards. You don't use debit cards, things like that, and it's all into really training.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's some good people and there's some bad people, and you're going to run into that.
Yeah.
But they're doing a bad job and you've trained them right, then you get another one. And if they're doing a bad job and you train them right, get another one. And if they're doing a bad job and you train them right, well, you're not training them right.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah, I like that. And no, I've been used. They're super helpful. So, and it took me, I did go through like 4 virtual assistants before I found one that's crushing it now. So yeah, I think that's one of the benefits. Maybe there's agencies, guys that'll help you find more. But yeah, I think me and Bennett.
Interview and vet them properly.
Yeah.
And I always start them at a very rapid increase in pay as well.
Yeah.
So we would hire at $5 an hour, kind of average out there.
Yeah.
We would do a 50-cent raise every quarter.
Nice.
So within if they stick with me for a year, that's 7. If they stick with me for 2 years, they're at 9.
Nice.
So they've almost doubled their income in 2 years. And then after that, I switch them to a 10% raise per year. Well, it's a 2.5% raise per quarter.
Okay.
So it ends up being just over 10% because of the compounding effect.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's start you at a low for us, right? But like a kind of an average in the Philippines, maybe a little bit below average, but just paint the picture of like 2 years, you're going to maybe make double the money.
Yeah.
So stick with me because the culture is like high turnover. I'm going to work for you for 3 months, I'm going to go find somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, incentivize them to stick with you. Because who's not going to pay somebody $10 an hour, $15 an hour that's been with you for a few years?
Yeah.
Like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's true. That's good advice because I haven't given mine a raise in a year, so I probably should start giving mine a raise.
If you're doing good enough for a raise, or that you're not doing good enough at all.
Yeah.
You're fired type of deal.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm going to evaluate it and see if you're going to do these are guaranteed raises. If you work for me, that means you're doing good and you get the raise.
Okay. Well, mine actually edits all these podcasts, so she's going to hear all this right now and be like, what the heck, Taylor? You haven't given me a raise, so. All right, Angelica, better give you a raise. But cool. And so just kind of as we start wrapping up here, Bennett, my last kind of question with real estate, how would you find these deals? Because that's what was one of my, I guess, things that has held me back too, is I don't even know where to begin looking for these deals. Like, how do I connect with a good real estate agent?
Yeah.
So what tips do you have on that?
Facebook groups are amazing now, because now we're doing real estate in multiple states for dirty dough, right? So not buying residential properties, but if you look up Phoenix, Arizona realtor groups, go on Facebook and you join them and say, hey, I'm looking for a realtor, and this is my first time buying an investment property. Something like that. But you need somebody that's done this, and you want a realtor. If you're getting into investment, you don't want any Joe Blow realtor that's like, oh yeah, I own my own house.
Yeah.
No, it's like, well, do you own investment properties? If they own investment properties, then use them. If they don't, just flat out don't use them. If you're buying an investment property from somebody that doesn't own investment properties, just don't do it.
Okay.
So Dwayne Richens, I get realtors like, oh, why didn't, how do I earn your business? So bring me a deal.
Yeah.
Bring me a deal. And Dwayne brings me deals.
Yeah.
So when you brought Dwayne to me, he came out and he did his presentation.
Yeah.
I got under contract with 2 properties. I paid $1,500 for a condo, earnest money. And the other one, I bought a townhome that was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 grand because I was paying for some upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Finished the basement, made it 5-bedroom so I could rent it out. But anyways, the condo, just focusing on that, paid $1,500. Is that what Tanner did?
Yeah.
Brother?
Yeah, I think so.
So me and Tanner put $1,500 down on a condo. That was our only risk. This was in May. Now these condos are being finished here in April, or I think May 4th maybe. And when I got under contract at $389, and those same condos in the same spot in Lehigh, Utah just went for $454,000, something like that. So it's like I gained $60,000 of equity, and my risk was $1,500 because I'm securing the price, and the market's just crazy right now. So turning $1,500 to $60,000, I mean, what type of return is that? You know, that's a 400% return.
Wow.
So that, like, we're talking crypto returns, but with real estate, just crazy. But now that I'm secured it, like now I have to pay $100,000 to actually pay for it, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, how easy is it to go find somebody with $100,000 and like, hey, dude, we could walk into $60,000 of equity.
Yeah.
So if you need a partner, I'm your partner.
Okay.
You can always do that. So it's finding these deals, but finding the realtor and asking those questions to vet them.
Yeah.
If you're in Utah, I would use Dwayne. Dwayne's the man.
Yeah, he's awesome. That's sweet. And so you could turn around and sell that and make $60,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Like 30, 40, because you have to pay your realtor fees, so kind of keep that.
Yeah.
So selling a property for $450, you're paying 5-6%. That's gonna go up, but I can sell it. Now this particular builder requires you to keep it for a year. But I did 2 properties. I did a townhome. The townhome I bought for $475 or $85, somewhere around there, and they just went for $609.
Wow.
It's like, so I'm signing on both of these properties within the next 2 weeks, and I'm walking into like $180,000 equity.
Jeez.
And it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, massive.
But, yeah, I mean, it's finding the deal. We'll find somebody who's finding deals.
Yeah.
I'm not actively looking. I didn't find the duplex. I wasn't even looking for it. I'm not analyzing the numbers. I'm not saying you should do that, but find somebody that's an expert in what they're doing. They're already doing it for other people, and it's just like, put me on your list. Bring me a good deal.
Yeah. And so why isn't it like Dwayne, for example, why doesn't he just buy up all these good deals himself if they're so good? Or does he buy?
They release condos and townhomes and homes every single week, like these new builders. So it's like,
okay, so he's not going to buy up the whole complex.
You can't buy 5 a week for a year.
It's true. Okay.
So I mean, I bought a house. I moved from San Diego to Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Yeah.
Bought a home, and I moved in February 2nd.
Yeah.
Got under contract on January 1st. A buyer fell through.
Yeah.
And that was kind of just lucky. So same thing. This was being built. It had all the upgrades, everything that we wanted. They signed their contract probably in January of last year.
Yeah.
So I got I just took over their contract.
Huh.
So within 30 days, I found this property, bought it, moved in, and walked into like $60,000, $70,000 worth of equity. Because again, I got their last year's price.
Wow.
So kind of just being on the lookout, but man, my time's limited. So having people do that for me, of like, these are my criteria, or what should my criteria be, right? A lot of people don't know what they're looking for. So it's like, tell me what I should look for.
Yeah.
What's a good investment? And at the end of the day, just get into it. And if you lose the money, go and freaking knock some more doors.
Yeah.
Go on, go make some more money.
I know.
Get in the market, and your net worth and your wealth goes up very quick.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why we're in solar, baby. Take that money and get some investments. So, no, appreciate the, real estate tips, all the good stuff you've shared with us, Bennett. And, like, would you say all these real estate, it's like paying your expenses, you're making, I don't know.
I mean, I spend a lot of money too now.
But pretty good passive money, I think.
Like $6,000, and I'm with these other 2, it's gonna increase. So not so much all my expenses, but at the same time, like if I wanted to retire, of all the properties I own, it's worth like maybe $3.5-4 million.
Wow.
So let's say it goes up 5% a year. Like last year it went up 20%, but that's not. If you look at Utah specifically over 20 years, it's going up 5% a year. So what's 5% of 4 million?
Yeah.
That's 200,000. So it's like I'll have 7 properties. So every year I can technically pick a property, right? Do like a cash out refinance or a HELOC or something, and pull out 200,000, and then let that property grow for the next 7 years. And I take $200,000 out of each property per year. Within the 7 properties, I'm gaining $200,000 somehow passively on top of my cash flow. So that's where the real money is at in this market. Is the appreciation, and then I'll get maybe $60,000 a year or something in cash flow, but I'm getting 200 in appreciation. And then you just need to know how to take that out and either reinvest it, or if you want to spend it on something. But definitely, always try to reinvest it.
Yeah. That's fire. Well, cool. So guys, go get started in real estate if you haven't, or buy a cookie store, either one. Okay. Depending on, what your goals are, how active you want to be. And so, yeah, I mean, before we let you go, Bennett, if guys want to get in the cookies or, hit you up about real estate, what's the best way to connect with you and hear more about how to get in on that stuff?
You can go to my website, bennettmaxwell.com, so BENNETT, and there you can inquire about franchising, set up a call with me or my partner. If you had some questions about real estate, message me on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, connect me through there.
Yeah.
And then I do have I'm starting to do a monthly in the trenches report of really what's going on in my business and really getting in the nitty gritty of actual numbers.
Nice.
We lost this much money, we gained this much money,
Yeah.
And building an enterprise value. So you can subscribe to that, and I do a few of those a month now.
Awesome. I didn't even know you had a website, so look at you. Moving up.
Fancy.
Yeah, so go check it out. We'll link all that in the show notes. So check it out. Hit up Bennett and some amazing investment opportunity with Dirty Dough. So check that out too. So Bennett, thanks again for coming on the show. And it's been fun. So guys, go hit him up. Let him know you appreciated him. And I guess any final advice or any tips you'd give to guys in solar or anything else you'd add before we wrap up here?
Work to learn, not to earn first.
Okay.
So be educated and build yourself to be the best salesperson, the most educated salesperson, and then you will get the money and you will get the investments after that. It's just about the education.
Love it. Nugget right there. Cool. Well, appreciate you coming on the show, Bennett. And maybe we'll have to bring it back for a third one when you have 100 properties or something.
Let's do it.
We'll see. So thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
What's up, solarpreneurs? Hope you enjoyed the episode. Before you run out and start selling more solar yourself, wanted to let you know about an exciting new cheat sheet we created specifically for you in mind. One of the top questions I get asked on Instagram, on Facebook by our listeners is, Taylor, where should I start? What episodes should I listen to in the podcast? You got too many podcasts, man, because now we have over 200 episodes. So what we've done, we created the top 10 most downloaded, most listened to, and I would say widely accepted, most useful podcasts that we've done here on Solarpreneur. We put them together all in one sheet, so you can hit the ground running, especially if you're new. You do not want to not have this sheet. So go download it right now. It's going to be at top10.solarpreneurs.com. Again, that's top10, the number 10.solarpreneurs.com. Don't forget the S on Solarpreneurs. We will have that in the show notes. Go download it right now. And especially if you have not listened to them, go listen to them, and you can re-listen to them. That's going to show you how. So go download it, and we'll see you on the other side.